Okay, here we are again. So this is now tarot lesson number 94. And I'd like to say again that the point of these videos, like the last couple, I think, and the next two or three that are coming up, are so that you can get practice on your own, thinking about questions, different kinds of questions that people might ask, and that you can then take a few minutes or longer to figure out what you might say, or to come up with multiple answers for the same question using the same card, because there are different parts of a card. Maybe you'll, with the Ace of Cups, you would, for instance, I've got a reason for holding it. You've got the cup, and you've got the hand, and you've got the dove, and you've got the water, and you've got the water streaming out. So you get different parts of the same card that you might want to talk about. So that's today. We're going to look at the third house, and I'll get to that in a bit. First, though, someone whose name I think is Kashi said, with the first house, there's an idea with astrological people that the first house, which is here, in some way is the same as the sign Aries, because Aries is meant to be the first sign of the zodiac. And this is the first house, so are they interchangeable in some way, or does the first house have the energy of Aries? And basically, it doesn't. There's a mistake to think that way. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of misinterpretations and misconceptions about what a horoscope is and what the planets are and what it's all about, which I'm thinking that I'm going to start a YouTube astrology channel and show you astrologically how to go about looking at a birth chart, but that's a different story. So I'm saying don't look at the first house as being Aries or having the energy of Aries or having the energy of Mars. It isn't. The first house is the house of self, and the card here will give you information about the self. There is the idea that Aries is the natural chart. It's Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer going around the houses this way, but it isn't. There are multiple versions of a natural chart, and also the fact that the rising sign changes by each degree on average every 4 minutes. So the rising degree and maybe the rising sign can be different now at this moment of me talking, different from what it was when I first started just a few minutes ago. The horoscope will be very much the same, but there can be key and significant differences from even 4 minutes ago, and certainly an hour from now it's going to be very different. So think about the first house as describing the self of the individual. So the reason I've got these two cards out is because last time we had, I think it was the Ace of Cups upright in the first house and the King of Pentacles upright in the seventh house, and so I'm saying the first house is the self, and the seventh house represents the other people in your life. So let's say I'm just reminding myself that a horoscope spread we're saying is for, let's say, 3 or 6 months. We're not looking at it for your whole life. That's a horoscope. But this, let's say, a horoscope spread for the next 6 months. So this is you now, or at the beginning of the 6 months. The seventh house describes the other kinds of the other people in your life, or the kinds of people you're going to meet or come into contact with or come into conflict with over the next few months. The seventh house. But, and this is the important point, the seventh house also shows what you are meant to become like 6 months, well, if we're doing 6 months, what you're meant to become like in the future. So this is you now, and this is you later. And that's why we need other people, because other people teach us about us. So with the Ace of Cups here, you're moody and touchy and fun-loving and emotional and sympathetic and so on. A few months from now, you're meant to become somebody in control of their values, because it's coins, but somebody going from somebody who's emotional to somebody who is maybe, let's say, logical or clear in their own mind about what they want. It's a king, right? So you're meant to be in charge of yourself. Here you're in charge as well, but maybe your emotions control you. Here in the future, you're meant to become clear about what you care about, the coin, and also be in control of it. So you're controlling yourself, you're controlling your emotions. And that could be why you meet certain types of people over the next 6 months, and you would maybe get good representatives of the kind of person you're meant to become. Whereas if you've got the King of Pentacles upside down in the future, then that's you now. You're touchy and emotional and good fun and fun-loving and all the rest of it. But in the future, you're going to be a little bit out of control. So watch for that tendency. So here you would, if the king is upright, you can talk about you will become and it will be good and it will work. If the king is upside down, you would want to probably give the questioner suggestions about what to avoid, right? Because the king is upside down. So a reverse card can show what you're meant to stop doing or what you're meant to avoid. So with the King of Coins upside down, you're fun-loving and friendly at the moment. As time goes by over the next few months, don't be too bossy, because a king upside down can represent somebody who just wants things the wrong way all the time. It's a king. I say jump, you say how high, rather than no. So you can find that over the next few months, you come into contact with people who want to tell you what to do, or maybe people who try to take advantage of your good nature, represented by the Ace of Cups. So that's the point, that the 7th house describes the other people in your life, but it also shows what you're meant to become like as time goes by. And that's why you have certain types of people you interact with over the next period and not other types, because the kinds of people that you come into contact with are represented by, in this case, the 8 of Cups reversed. So you're going to meet unhappy people who are unfulfilled because they know they need to leave the past behind, but they can't, or they just keep reminiscing about the past, or they keep going over and over and over the things that have gone wrong in their life. And by focusing on what's gone wrong, they never get away from it. So maybe this can be you with that Ace of Cups here. At the moment, you're friendly and optimistic because it's a 1 and you're ready to make a new beginning. But there's going to be disappointments ahead, because you're going to find with the 8 of Cups upside down that you're not able to make a fresh start the way you want. So the second we looked at last time, I think that's a value sense, what you care about. The 3rd house today, the 3rd is communication. And something to notice is that the 1st house is the self. It's basically you, one limited kind of meaning. The 2nd house is money and income and values. So it's kind of a little bit wider and covers more ground, but it's still kind of limited in its own way. The 3rd house, on the other hand, and this is true of the 6th because it's the 3rd from here, and the 9th, the 3rd from here, and the 12th, the 3rd from here. The 3rd house rules the brothers and sisters, communication, short distance travel, neighbors, early education. So it's there's more areas of life described by or covered by the 3rd house than there is with the 1st, because this is you. This is all sorts of different things, and that's something to remember. So if we take the 3rd house as being communication, so this is how you communicate, how you speak, how you write, and how you express yourself. And so you can look at, and with the star here, then you express yourself well, you're optimistic, you pass on good information to other people, because it's the nature of the star. You can be inspirational to other people. So communication may not seem that important, but maybe think about a reading where you're telling the person about a situation, or they're asking about a certain situation, and then they happen to say, I'm trying to tell my partner what's what, but I can't get my message across, or he won't listen or she won't listen. Then you think, okay, you're saying your communications are not having an effect. If I pick a single card to describe your communications, what do we get? The Emperor. You are solid and forthright, and so maybe what you have to do with the people that you're talking with is be more in control, be more bossy, be more definite, be more specific, and show them that they need to be part of a team, because an emperor runs an empire which has got all sorts of moving parts. And if this is how you're communicating, then we might want to say, so how do other people see your Oh, I got the Empress. I was going to try and get something difficult, but if you're the Emperor, it's in here somewhere, and other people are represented by how they understand your communication is represented by the Empress, it works, because the Emperor and the Empress go together. So you're giving big ideas, the Emperor, and people recognize the quality in what you're talking about, and they respond appropriately, because the Empress and the Emperor go together. Whereas if you're the Emperor and giving important lessons to people, and you want to know how is your message being received by other people, and you get the Hanged Man, then you have to give the Hanged Man a suspension and delay. You've got to give them time. You know what you're about. You can pass on to other people what is meant to happen, but they need time to catch up, because the card is a card of suspension. And if the Hanged Man is upside down, they don't get it now, and they're not going to get it 6 months from now. So you, the Emperor, need to change, or would be better to change what you say or how you say it, or be more aware of the fact that you may know what you're about, but you can't assume that everybody else knows what you want and what you're saying, because the card that represents the people listening or seeing what you're writing are represented by the Hanged Man upside down. They just don't get it. So the third house is, so what we do is we're looking at the third house, which is communication. So you can look at the card here, or look at any card as how are you communicating, and we get the 6 of coins upside down. So are you communicating well? No, because you're not sure about what you mean. 6, we've got the scales in the picture, but it's upside down. So it's a bit like you tell me something in the morning, but you tell me the opposite in the afternoon, and I don't know where I am with you, because you keep changing your tune, you keep changing your mind. So maybe what you do with the 6 of coins reversed is figure out what you actually want and what direction you want to go in, or what you want me to do, rather than tell me one thing at the beginning of the week and the opposite at the end of the week, because then I don't know where I am. I don't know what to do. I want to help. I want to be of use, but I don't know what you want. So you can look at the third as being how you communicate and what the quality of your communication. If it's also the brothers and sisters, so the person might want to know, okay, how is my brother doing? And you get the Star card. The brother's doing well. He's optimistic. He's confident. He's got plans. He's got ambition. He's got ideas that he wants to bring about. The third house, because it's short distance travel, maybe somebody's saying, okay, I live in Glasgow. I'm going to London for the weekend. What's it going to be like? And we get the Star upside down. So you're thinking about a short distance trip. Is it going to go well? And you get the King of Batons. Yes, it's going to go well, because you know what you're about and you're in control. Is it going to go well? The 6 of Batons upside down. No. And because this person on a horse has got a team around him, it's upside down. So you double check that everybody knows, everybody else involved in the trip knows what they're supposed to do and where they're meant to be and what time they're meant to be, because with the Six of Battens upside down, it's not going to come together properly. You've got different people doing different things at the wrong time, or not getting mixed up about the time or about the directions or about how to get from point A to point B. Here we've got, it's not terrible, but it's also not smooth sailing. So you look at the third house, if you look at the third house as communication and short distance travel, it can get you thinking, okay, if I got this card, the Two of Swords, in connection with a short distance trip, what would I say? Two of Swords, you've got two possibilities. Make sure you choose the right one. Judgment reversed, and so on. So you're getting practice in your own time answering a particular kind of question. This is not about you. It's about how you travel and where you're going and your destination. And the third thing is, or the fourth thing is, the third house can also show how you drive. So if you get, for example, if the person's going on a short trip, say they're going from Glasgow to London and they're driving and it's just a few hours and you get the Devil reversed, be careful on your trip. We're not putting ideas into your mind that, yes, you're going to have an accident, but it's more like, don't let your mind wander, and don't focus on driving, and pay attention to the other traffic or pay attention to other drivers, because don't assume that things are going to go well and everybody's going to be looking out for you. I think with the Devil upside down, because it's the Devil and it's darkness and black and nighttime and so on, maybe that's the point you say if you're driving to London, make sure you're well rested before the trip, and if you're driving at night, maybe make sure you know your direction so that you're not getting lost or taking the wrong exit from the motorway or something like that. So the third, anyway, is how you communicate. And if that's the father, this shows how the father communicates. So if you're having an argument, let's say somebody has got a problem with their father, you may realize, okay, it would be useful to know what the father's saying and how he's communicating. And if we get the Seven of Cups upside down, he's confused. He doesn't really know what he's saying. Maybe he's got high ideas, but they're upside down. So he's not clear in his own mind about what he's saying or why he's saying it. And he's going to give mixed messages, we could say, with the Seven of Cups upside down. And then if you've got a question about your marriage partner, 7, 8, 9, the marriage partner with the Ace of Battens, what is how the marriage partner communicates, the Ace of Battens upside down? They're kind of negative. Like, you want to make a start if you're the Ace of Cups, which was somewhere in there, and they're the Ace of Battens upside down. So if the Ace of Battens had been upright, then they're confident and optimistic, and they talk happily about making a fresh start. But it's upside down. All they can see, or they tend to focus on what's wrong, what didn't work, why it didn't work, why it's not going to work again in the future. So with the Ace of Battens upside down, how the person communicates, I don't know if they're that much fun to be around, because it's not much fun listening to somebody complain all the time or be negative and explain why things aren't going to work. Okay, I don't know how long that was, but that was it for the moment. So I've run out of things to say. So listen to me waffling on here. So that was it for the moment. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back in a few days, and we'll look at some more houses in a horoscope, or houses in a horoscope spread, and get more practice, not just with individual houses, but also with combining 2 and 3 and 4 houses together to get a more complete picture and more accurate, maybe more accurate description of what's going on and what the person, the questioner, can logically expect over the next few months. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.